Nobody's gonna like what I have to say. No man is gonna like what I have to say. We all know now that most divorces, 70% of divorces are initiated by the woman. And if she is an educated woman, it's upwards of 90% of the divorces are initiated by the woman. When that happens, a man's ego takes a massive hit. They always say it came out of nowhere, even if at the time the woman tried and tried and tried to keep that marriage together.
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Give me the sit rep. I hope you're all doing fine. And now guys, let's cut to the chase and start with this one right here.
This comment came from a video where I was talking about those movies, like Julia Roberts movies, where the single woman shows up in a new town and magically there is a hot single guy who lives right next door who takes an interest in her, and that guy is magically available, and he's never divorced. He either his wife like ran away, or most likely she's just dead, right? It's never a divorced dude. And I made some kind of little bit of a snarky comment about,
yes, it happens that way in movies because it's to appeal to the, woman watchers, viewers of that movie. Because men at that age who are that attractive, like in the movies, they are 10 out of 10 and they settle for that girl who is new and pops into the neighborhood. Men who are that age are either already married or they just wouldn't settle for the kind of girls that we see on television. But again, it's to appeal to the white population of women over 30 who have this dream. These women we see on TikToks all the time talking about, when will the universe give me this man? When will God give me what he has in store for me? That's what they expect. They expect to pop into a new neighborhood and that 10 out of 10 guy who is extremely handsome notices them and wants to sacrifice his life for him. The female fantasy guys.
Like, how could it would never work if it was a divorced dude? And so this guy asks, well, why? What's wrong with a divorced dude? Nobody's gonna like what I have to say. No man is gonna like what I have to say, but it's just true. So here's the thing. We all know now that most divorces, 70% of divorces are initiated by the woman. And if she is an educated woman, it's upwards of 90% of the divorces are initiated by the woman. When that happens, a man's ego takes a massive hit. They always say it came out of nowhere, even if at the time the woman tried and tried and tried to keep that marriage together.
Guys, the reason why so many men say that it came out of nowhere is because men don't follow this mentality of leaving every time there's a problem, right? Men are problem solvers. Men try to fix things. When there is a problem, we try and solve it. And the reason why they say it came out of nowhere is because they've probably been trying to make it work for 4 years, but it just never happened, right? I just don't understand why women get into marriages and start trying to change their man for 15 years until they get a divorce. What are you doing? Why are you getting into a marriage with a person that you constantly want to change and improve all the time and just change who he is, right? I just don't understand it, guys. Now, there's a lot of gray area talking about this. It's normal for a marriage to keep improving, to keep bonding, for people to get to know each other with every passing day. That is absolutely normal and beautiful. But there's just a lot of gray area where it can become something extremely damaging, where it's not about growing together. It's about the woman just having more and more standards with each passing day, and you're just not able to meet them. I mean, no one is, right? No one is. Like, these women, guys, you know how you can see that they can never have their standards met? Because we have a lot of women on the channel who get a divorce thinking that they can find something better, and then they end up 40 and single, 50 and single, you know, and they never end up meeting a better option. They never end up finding that next greener patch of grass, right? So it turns out it wasn't the husband that was the problem, it's just their standards. So again, a lot of gray area, and it really takes some wisdom to discern between the toxic women who are just a pain in the neck, who you can never please, who are always bitter, you know, and the women who, in the most genuine and natural way, are just trying to, I don't know, make their bond stronger. But this lady right here, we know which into which group she falls into, right?
And tried to get him to work with her, tried couples counseling, all of that stuff, and they just couldn't make it work out. So finally, she's the one who files the paper. So this guy is now jettisoned off into the world on his own, when even unhappily, he would have just stayed in that marriage. Now, what about the guys who initiate divorce themselves, you ask?
Guys, before she continues, now here's the thing, this is yet another reason why men just don't try to change their woman. First off, you know, men have a clear idea of what they want. So if a woman is humble and pleasant to be around, there's really not much more to it. Don't cheat, be loyal, be humble, you know, innocent, and be pleasant. That's it. It doesn't take too much. Women have way more standards, right? And again, that is something natural. I don't expect at this point to change women, given that they have behaved this way for thousands of years, right? But again, there is a limit. You can have your standards, and women naturally have more than men. But when you take it too far, you're just mentally unstable, right? And the other thing is, guys, men, really this argument is just so true, but a millionaire guy will absolutely date a McDonald's cashier if she is loyal, humble, and pleasant to be around. And that's why men just don't think about improving their wives. If she's a McDonald's cashier, if she likes art, if she suddenly starts liking romantic movies, the guy just doesn't care what you do with your life. We don't care. You can do everything as long as as you meet these three requisites I already mentioned. With women, on the other hand, guys, they have just so much more standards. They want the guy to be financially stable. They want him to be decisive. They want him to be strong. They want him to provide security. They want him to, you know, fix all the problems. Just so many more standards. And again, I can understand that this is the way it is, right? You have to be blind not to see that that's how it is. But a lot of guys in today's society are just asking the question, why do I have to provide so much more for a woman that is not even humble? For a woman that I don't even enjoy being around, that I will honestly be better off by myself, right? I mean, the juice is not worth the squeeze, gentlemen. What can I tell you? In most of the cases, like, there are some women out there who are worth it. You know, there are women who are worth it to do all the chasing. But the reality is, unbiased opinion, just the majority of women are not worth it, guys. And the amount of men that are willing to do the chase is not equivalent to the amount of women that are worth the chase.
Those guys have a side chick already. They are not single. They are leaving their wives to go fuck their secretary. It is trite, it is basic, and it's a tale as old as time for a reason, okay? So yeah, they divorced their wives, whatever, because they were having an affair, and sometimes they stay with that person, sometimes that person leaves them, whatever, maybe.
You know why that doesn't happen? But even though both genders cheat, moreover the same in terms of percentages, but do you know why guys don't divorce? Because divorce is tucked up against them, right? I mean, every little aspect from A to Z in terms of divorce favors women. The children going towards women, the court favoring women, alimony favoring women, child support favoring women, no fault divorce favoring women, and just the fact that women date up. So women usually marry a guy who is richer than them, and they get more out of divorce than usually men get in the rare occasions that they do. And this is another reason why men just don't file for divorce. Even if they wanted to get divorced, it's just not a good plan.
Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. But if he's single and he caused it, he's usually unhappy as well. So back to the divorced guys who got divorced by their wives. The only guys who are worth dating after divorce are guys who took the time to go to therapy and unpack why their marriage failed in the first place. If they're just sitting around drinking, you know, not decorating their apartment, playing video games, playing single for a while, and not trying to work on themselves, that is not a guy who deserves another chance with another woman. Like, unless you want to ruin your own life as a woman. These guys, they need to go to therapy. They need to have friends who talk to them sensibly. They need to make some female friends.
Guys, I'm gonna pause it yet again. Sorry for being so annoying, but I just hear this so often that women are just so pissed when men do what they like to do, like playing video games, or if they like going out with friends. And again, like, I'm really understanding today. I woke up understanding. I understand that women need more attention than men. Like, men will never beg for so much attention as women do, and I can understand that. But again, you have to ask yourself, what kind of woman are you, right? Because if the woman is good, I think that she absolutely deserves and is entitled to his husband's attention, to her husband's attention, excuse me, right? It's just woman-like attention, right? In the same way that men want to have S3X more often, in the same way women just want more attention, and they don't like it when the guy goes to play video games 7 hours, or, you know, wants to go out with his friends every second day. So I can understand it, but, you know, one of the reasons why guys often do this, you know, other than because they like, is because they just don't enjoy being with their wives. You know, and that may sound harsh, guys, but again, just a lot of men don't feel good in a marriage. And what they do, instead of, let's just divorce, I'm gonna get another one, what they do is try to make it work, right? And they sort of, you know, they cope with the fact that they have a wife who is unpleasant, but trying to, you know, fill their minds with games or going out or just spending more time doing other things. They just don't really enjoy the wife's company. And again, this is not necessarily the guy's fault, right? The woman could be just unpleasant, right? We always hear women speaking about how their man's changed and he doesn't put in the effort, etc. Well, women do that as well, wouldn't you know it? So a lot of men just don't enjoy their wife's company, right? So ask yourself, what kind of woman are you? Are you a woman that really deserves your man's time, or is your company just another task that your man has to do? Is, you know, the time he has to spend on you yet another thing waiting on his back?
They need to understand what happened in their first marriage. And the vast majority of divorced men that I have met and dated, and let me tell you what, in my single years, I went out with a billion men. Okay, I think I made a video of my year of yes, where I went on like 70 something first dates. Every single one of them was a divorced man. And those were choices I was purposely making at the time.
What kind of woman do you think this woman is, right? Into which group do you think she falls into, right? Guys, sometimes I try to not be harsh. Sometimes I look back at my videos and I think, damn, maybe someone will watch this content, will watch this channel, and will think that I just hate women, that I just try to blame them on every video, that I, cherry pick those videos just to be mean. And I say, you know what, let's try and be more rational. Let's try and give it another spin. But guys, seriously, like, you see this woman right here, and there's just nothing good you can say about her. There's just nothing good that you can say she deserves. I'll never say that this woman deserves a good man. I'll never say that this woman deserves a man's time, other than a simp's time. This woman doesn't deserve anything, right? She's made all the bad choices. She's been with all the bad boys. She's had, what did she mention, 70-something dates in 1 year. That none of them went somewhere. She just spread her legs 70 times in 1 year. This woman, triple-digit body count, right? and you expect respect out of men. You expect them, you expect to move into a neighborhood where that 10 out of 10 men will pick up the pieces of your broken life. It's just sad, guys. It's pathetic. You know, even if I tried, I cannot say anything good about this woman. You know, and it's sad that it's really sad in today's society. A lot of women are like her. They are just ruins, and they don't deserve anything good. Not because I say so, but because they have brought, you know, the bad consequences into their life by their own doing. So there's nothing but the wall for you, madam.
Because to me it made sense, and I was in my 30s, whatever. I didn't know anything. This is how I learned. So
So you're in your 30s and you don't know anything. I don't know anything. I'm just 30, guys. Come on. It sounds like a 12-year-old, you know, like you're a father and your 12-year-old daughter tells you, yeah, I tried to change him, but I couldn't. I just didn't know. Damn it, you're 30 years old. When are you going to know what you want?
at the time, I was like, well, I don't want to date a guy who's never been married, who's in his late 30s, early 40s, because he probably still wants kids, and I definitely was done with that portion of my life. So I was like, I will date other people who have been divorced because they have been through the same thing I have been through. Okay, lesson learned in a very difficult manner, because men who do not do the work to heal after divorce, after the insult that is a woman saying, I no longer want you in my life, the men who don't try to heal from that are terrible to be around. They hate women. They are still angry, and they have work to do. So anyway, that's why in all these fantasy movie scenarios, it's just better off that the wife is fucking dead.
So going back to the start of the video, where this comment is a guy and he says, I love your content. I don't know what type of man do you have to be to like this content. Like, we often make fun of women who listen to dating advice on TikTok by single women over 40. But this is a guy that enjoys this content. Like, on the internet, I've seen plenty of people enjoy weird, strange, and even illegal content. But this takes the prize. my guy, he's out of his mind. But again, guys, like, just this woman, if she ever has a husband, she's gonna divorce him and break his life. But would you understand why he prefers to play video games instead of being with her? You know, I think you get the point, gentlemen. But now let's move to our final TikTok.
Sorry.
So I have been a little sad today, and I needed the reminder. And so I wanted to share this reminder with you that somebody's inability to see your worth has nothing to do with you, and has nothing to do with your value and the things that you bring to a friendship or a relationship or a job.
And we're gonna stop on this funny face. But how convenient, gentlemen. It's just always so convenient when women make a TikTok giving advice to other women. You know, it's honey to their ears. If you know, someone's inability to show me how much I'm worth it shouldn't diminish you know, my expectations of who I am. That's absolutely beautiful. You know, if you ever get kicked out of a job because you suck or something, just tell them that, you know what, your inability to kiss my behind enough will not decrease my arrogance. What a beautiful way to leave a job.
It has everything to do with them. And I think that sometimes we can beat ourselves up about feeling unworthy, but because of somebody's inability to see how valuable you are, but it's just not the case. You are so incredibly worthy of every single good thing that this life has to offer, and somebody not being able to see that, that's on them. That's
all right, madam, stop. You're gonna make me blush with all the beautiful comments. But guys, you can see the tattoo on her arm. Of course, they just always have that tattoo when they cope like hell for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's like a, you know, these packages that you get when you download a game or you open a profile in any site. You just get a, you know, beginner's package. Well, that's the beginner's package for just women who cope extremely and will passing away alone. You know, they just get a tattoo just materializes on their arms, sometimes on their chest. That is level 2, you know. A nose ring, that's level 3. But anyways, guys, I'm not gonna get off track. Just to mention, again, she says, it's on them, right? It couldn't be me. It's on them. If someone doesn't love me, not my fault. It's on them. It's on the whole world. It's on every guy who has ever walked away from me, who didn't want to put in the effort, who thought that I was a red flag and walked away. It's on them. It couldn't be me. And then they wonder why they're single. Absolutely no sympathy.
It's not on you, and it doesn't take away from your value. It doesn't take away from how loved you are or how worthy you are of all the good things. Cut those people out of your life because they don't deserve to have you.
All right, thank you. They just dodged the bullet. Guys, we'll leave the video right here. Damn, I wasn't expecting so much cope out of one video, to be honest with you guys. So go take a rest, and I'll see you tomorrow for even more cope. Thank you for watching, guys.